Hello, this is Fake the Nation, where we talk about news, we talk about culture, and where we celebrate 500 episodes of Fake the Nation.
Pew, 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 pew.
I'm your host, Negin Farsad, and the main difference between today, Negin Farsad, and 500 episodes ago, Negin, is that I now fight against early onset jowls. Always on the lookout for them jowls. I think I cry more. That might be parenthood and not like episodes of Fake the Nation related. But I do blame onset jowls to podcasting.
Can I ask you what you did your punchline and just looked straight through my soul about jowls, and then I
Wait,
grabbed
do
this.
you share jowl fear?
No, it's just you don't hear it every day. You don't hear jowls every day, and so I'm eating this bar because I'm on a calorie deficit, and I almost spit out what I just make me laugh stuff.
Yeah, you need to eat more stuff to like start having jowl concerns.
I'm sure I will have jowls. What does this become? I'm sure I'll have my adipose moment in my jowls.
Now today, we'll talk about what I was hoping to never talk about again, which is another murder in Minneapolis at the hands of ICE and Border Patrol. We'll also talk about Trump's incredible health and the members of the GOP who don't love being Republicans anymore. We'll also talk about the rise of foreign language films at the Oscars. And finally, what is a stay-at-home son and why is a stay-at-home son? Today, folks, so for the 500th episode, what I wanted was like the kind of panel that I could just sit down and relax because they're both my buddies and they're both fucking excellent chatters.
Oh, thank you.
They're also both authors randomly. I don't know if that's something. But you've heard them both on this show before. We have joining us, he is an author. He is once the national political director at MoveOn.org and now is moving on to other and more, and not more interesting, but other and in parallelly
diversely interesting.
Interesting projects. But he's a strategist. He's written, 2 books?
That have been published.
I know, yeah.
The collection of unpublished books. It's remarkable.
Oh, yeah, we won't talk about those. And he's just like an excellent guy. Oh, he's also a founder of Drinking Liberty that you've heard me. I just spit on the 500th episode. You've heard me talk about that on the show before, Drinking Liberally, which is just like building social capital through beer drinking at various bars around the country. It's kind of like what this country needs more of, and it is the one and only Justin Krebs. Hey, Justin.
Hi, Negin. Happy 500.
Thank you so much. We are also joined by another favorite of the show. He's a comedian who I gotta be honest. I don't think I've ever seen him be in a room in a comedy club where the audience doesn't fucking just love him. You know, I don't think I've ever seen you do poorly. You know what I mean? I just don't think I have. So
wow. No response. I have no response.
This means she hasn't seen you very.
I know. Maybe I haven't seen you enough.
You haven't seen me often, but when she has.
No, there's still hope for me to see you bomb.
You usually see me on payday or something like
that's
that.
Right,
That's where I feel good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
He's also a writer. He's written
I like
a bunch.
that.
He's written for a bunch of TV shows.
Yeah.
So we'll just put that aside. But besides the TV show, he is here just the very week before his book comes out. It's a book called Choreplay, and you should immediately be pre-ordering. It is the one and only Jordan Carlos.
Thank
Jordan.
you so much, Negin. Oh my gosh, this feels what a hype machine. If I had this every day for the next 5 years, I would definitely be normal.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Just like you need the thing your parents didn't give you, I give you. It's funny because I will say, it's been almost 10 years of this show. And in these 10 years, I get a lot of different messages. But one of the messages I get every so often, and I'm sure there are people that don't like this, is they love that I hype up my guest. And I think it's mostly because I have on like friends and I genuinely love their work. So it's like very easy for me to hype up the guest. But I also think it's funny that I should get messages about it. So I think that's an interesting quality of the listeners that they like the introduction. What a terrible
intro it would be if you didn't if you hyped them down.
I know.
Guys, I'm sorry. Real sorry about this next one.
So before we get into the show, I just want to remind listeners, this is independent media right here. I don't got a boss. I speak my mind, and then I have people on that can speak their minds. And we call it as we see it. So if you want to support this show, you can go to patreon.com/Negin Farsad. I am just incredibly honored by the number of people who have been supporting the show. And for that support, for as little as $4 a month, you get bonus episodes of the show. For as little as $1 a month, you get literally nothing but the satisfaction of knowing that you support Fake the Nation. So join at whatever level you can, again at patreon.com/Negin Farsad. And now let's get into it with topic number 1. Okay. Oh, I wanted to share. Normally we talk culture in this episode. I wanted to share another 2 things that have inspired emails from people.
Okay.
So, or the 2 things that I hear the most from listeners. So oftentimes I'll run into listeners on the street or at an event or something, and they come up to me after. And the thing that has been said to me more than any other thing is the following. And I find this fascinating. I wonder what you guys think about it. The day that Elizabeth Warren dropped out of the race in 2020, we were taping. So so my producer told me in the middle of taping, Elizabeth Warren just dropped out of the race.
Right.
I was on with Ophira Eisenberg, who we all know, wonderful comedian, regular on the show, and with Weston Wamp, who's a Republican mayor of Hamilton County in Tennessee.
Okay.
And he was a Republican operative then. Now he's an elected official. And he's just a lovely Republican dude, or, at least he was. We haven't had him back on in a long time. But
He might no longer be a Republican if he was a lovely dude.
according to a quick Google search, he's still a Republican.
got it.
Let's see. But he was so lovely. And Elizabeth Warren drops out, and I cried. Okay?
Oh.
I cried.
Yeah.
And then people listening to the show said, oh my God, when I heard, I cried. And then when I heard you cry, I cried again.
Oh.
And the number of the Venn
Circular
diagram
crying.
of people supporting Elizabeth Warren and listening to this show was very just a circle. And and I just thought it was interesting that one episode where both me and Ophir were just legitimately fucking bummed. Yeah. And then Weston Wamp, a Republican, was like, guys, I'm so sorry. I can see that she really moved you, and that this is a tough reality you're facing. And we were both like, thanks. And it was actually just this beautiful bipartisan moment of whatever that is.
Well, he sounds like a gentleman. And it sounds like, I love that you wear your heart on your sleeve, and that I'm sure that your listeners and your followers appreciate that you can have that vulnerability moment to moment. I know I can't. I was bummed and I was sad plenty of times over the last 10 years, but I held it inside and pushed it down where nobody could touch it. And I think that's been my key to success. But no, I'm just kidding. I think that's really cool. That's really cool. And they're hitting you up about something that happened years and years ago.
6 years.
I know. Right? Isn't that wild? I still get comments about this particular thing. So I've always found that shocking.
Had Jordan and I really planned ahead, we would say, and Negin, that's why we have a special guest. And the door would open and Senator Warren would walk in at this moment.
I thought it was going to be the Wump guy.
I know. But Warren, Senator Warren is a better one. Jordan is a better one.
Yeah. Either one would be. Would have been real.
And then the other thing I wanted to point out about the show, these 500 episodes, is that I get I get emails pretty regularly, and it's never on the subjects I think they're going to be on. I don't get emails about Trump, right? I think because we all have said what we need to say, we all know where we stand. I don't, no one's got a take that's that crazy to me. But what the things I get emails on, for example, we recently had a segment on senior citizens going back to college. Bunch of emails about that.
Yeah. Do we not like that? We don't. I saw Back to School.
It was kind of like a half and half. It was like a half and half, right? With Melissa McCarthy, right?
Rodney Dangerfield.
Rodney Dangerfield, but Melissa McCarthy also did one where she went back, and that was great.
That was so great. She was also like a slut when she went back, which is part of the story that I really enjoyed. Was her slutitude, as like a mom of a
Yeah.
sophomore in college or whatever.
What's the one where Joe Pesci went head of the class? Or
Oh, no. That's with honors.
with honors. With honors.
Yeah, he doesn't really go back as much as he's just kind of like this
Yeah.
mystical being that's homeless and
At a school.
At a school.
at Harvard.
Oh, at Harvard.
And
okay.
Brendan Fraser needs him to graduate with honors. You know what I'm saying?
Can I also say something about Justin really quick now that we mentioned Harvard? So Justin is a Harvard graduate. And I gave
Along with Joe Pesci.
along with Joe
Oh.
Pesci. And I mystical being. And I gave a commencement address recently.
At Harvard?
At Harvard?
No, at another school at Lawrence Technological University. Thank you so much. You can see it on YouTube. And it was in May. And I mentioned it to Justin, and Justin said, "Oh my God, I haven't given a commencement address in like 20 plus years." And I was like, hold on, let me just do the math here. Did you fucking give an address at your Harvard graduation, you bastard?
You
And
did?
he
I did. I did.
And can I just say, Jordan, he never talks about going to Harvard, unlike every other
I
person
talk
who
about
goes.
it. I didn't even go there.
I need a badge, an insignia.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and so
can't
that's
stop.
what a good guy Justin is. I didn't know this about him the
Man.
entire duration of our friendship that he gave a speech at his graduation.
Justin, you better get merch. You better.
Oh, I know.
I mean,
Start screaming it at the top of your lungs.
Yes. Ask me about my speech I gave at Harvard. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's.
Could I just say peaked
yeah.
at 22? Is that?
No. Don't even start. I think that's incredible.
It's incredible. We also got a lot of emails. We did a recent subject on Waymos. Waymos,
Oh, yeah, the
do
cars.
you trust them? Because apparently, statistically, they're safer than humans.
Okay,
And
okay.
so it's like we should be
Well-
trusting them statistically.
We
do
all
we
held our
trust
breath
them?
at that moment, though. We're like,
I know, and this is why I got so many emails, because people were like, "I don't know what to tell you. I get what you're saying about the numbers, but I can't."
Well, I'm waiting for the Chris Pratt Netflix movie where the car turns kidnaps the kid and it's a road
Right.
race. Let's go.
Wait, isn't this the most prime moment for what was that Kit the show and the car was
Knight
called
Rider.
Knight Rider.
Knight Rider.
Let's go. I think there actually is a Knight Rider reboot. I mean,
And is it about Waymos doing it?
don't
Like
know.
it should be.
There's way more in store. And this I have no idea. But yeah, you're right. I mean, let's pitch it. Let's go.
I know.
Revive it.
Yeah. That is what is coming out of Fake the Nation is a fucking Knight Rider reboot. That's what everybody thinks of me.
it also could be like a Transformers prequel, like a deep prequel.
Oh, let's
Rise.
go.
Yes.
Rise of the Waymo.
Rise
I've got
of
a
the
concept.
Waymo.
Kind of like the way they did with Planet of the Apes, and they take you back to the time where it wasn't so strange.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Let's do that. Okay, we've got
Yeah,
two
okay, two really good.
film ideas happening here.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to an actual point in culture. The Oscar nominations were announced last week, and there were two foreign language films in the Best Film category: Norway's Sentimental Value and Brazil's The Secret Agent. Now, that's a lot because generally in the history of cinema, for the Oscars, there were no foreign language films in the Best Oscar category.
Right.
But in 2020, Parasite broke the Oscars foreign language hymen, if you will, taking home the Best Picture Oscar. And before that, only 11 non-English films were nominated for Best Film. Here's the weird thing. Since 2020, 10 more foreign language films have been nominated. So we've basically doubled our numbers in just 6 years. My question is, why the relatively sudden change?
Look at the NBA. You know, you got so many foreign players now, okay? And little by little, they're taking over Europe. Do you follow Luka Doncic, all these players?
I don't,
You
but
can't
tell us
find
more.
any, you can find African-American, but not a lot of, I'm looking at you, white males. And so they're getting a lot of imports. And I feel the movies, same diff. There. You know
That's
what?
it.
You guys are
we're
not
supporting
I know,
white
like
males.
the
You're not
the
supporting my
NBA
take, and that is my hot take.
it feels the NBA. This
Yeah, go ahead.
NBA take feels very.
You don't believe it.
I know. I mean,
feel
I
it. You
believe
think it's
you.
thin.
I know. I'm just like, is that? I mean, it just the popularity. I know the popularity of the NBA has spread to other countries, so I understand that part.
With you on that. I mean, there is. I am thinking through your take.
I was just like, maybe
Think through your take.
Maybe it's the same thing. No, I think it's more. The problem is the Hollywood machine is breaking down. right? The Hollywood
Right.
machine is
Yes.
breaking down, and we're getting a lot of the same.
Yeah.
Over and over again. We're getting origin stories. We're getting like adaptations of video games and things
Yeah.
like that, which shows you that we don't have a lot of original stories. But other countries certainly do. So we're importing those original stories. That's how it feels to me.
Right,
You know? But
Yeah.
and also I'm right about the NBA.
About the
Yeah,
NBA.
yeah.
Well, and
Justin.
I was thinking of it. I was like translating NBA to Major League Baseball for a moment, and I was thinking like,
What is happening? What is happening?
These
You
sports teams
invited
go and
two
play in
doofus dudes.
Japan
Oh my God.
and England. There is
Yeah.
some reciprocal thing on it, but
Sure.
So I actually love your theory
Thank you.
about
Thank you.
about Hollywood telling unoriginal stories, and somehow the Oscars, while problematic in a lot of ways, some places still honoring originality.
Yeah.
And you see that with Sinners, which is an original story.
Yes.
I guess my other thought, and I have nothing to base this on. So
Okay,
you heard it
great.
here
No,
first.
this is the kind of
Would just be-
information we love the most.
In-
It's baseless.
As we have shifted so firmly into streaming, like the threshold for me sitting at home to watch a foreign language film is lower than it once. Like if I was going to Blockbuster, it would have been if I was paying to go to the movie theater, if I was going to Blockbuster Kids was a place that had movies in it. Had actually a little anyway,
For real?
Like
In my
I
day.
do wonder if like the
Tell
ability
me
that when I
more.
open Netflix or open Max, like it is telling me this other thing is good, is seeping into our zeitgeist, so that there is like, even while we thought we were colonizing the world with our American-made movies, and we are, if like it actually opened up a channel that goes both ways. That's a little bit of my theory.
So how much like do you do in terms of foreign language
I
viewing?
don't. So that's why my theory falls apart.
I watch plenty of foreign language stuff. I go to dinner parties. You know, I
need
live
to
in
be
Brooklyn.
right.
Like yes, I've
you
seen.
you don't go to dinner parties, Jordan. You go to salons.
Salons, yeah, absolutely. Just complete salons where people they complete a thought like throughout the night or
Yes.
expand on
Yes,
ideas.
they do, yeah.
But yeah, you bet your bottom dollar I was watching The Leopard when it came out. Sure, I mean you had to. It was all Italian.
Yes.
6 episodes, all Italian. Come on.
Oh my God.
I admit that I did. My kids love heist movies.
Oh, the
So-
the
Spanish one.
Spanish one.
So we haven't done that yet. So that's
Oh,
but that's
so
exactly
funny that we
What are you
both-
waiting for?
So
I
we
know.
like they've watched Ocean's 11 multiple times
Yes.
through 12, 13, 8.
Yeah.
They've watched
That's
the
like
Now
pinnacle.
You See Me movies. All so they just love. I mean, Avengers Endgame is basically a heist movie. And I had watched Lupin on Netflix.
yeah.
And I was like, I was recently thinking, will my kids
Fancy.
be willing to read French for an hour? I mean, sorry, read English. Sorry.
English.
No, they definitely can't read French for an hour.
Subtitles, yeah.
Because I was like, he's so charming and the heists are so good. And so this
Right.
might inspire me to go home tonight and say, kids,
We're doing it.
We're listening to French.
Because that's the other. I mean, because would you ever do the what's it called? Would they put the mouth? The,
I don't know. The
What? What do they
dubbing?
do?
Dubbing.
I don't.
Where they put the
like
mouth.
dubbing, where they put the
Where
mouth.
they put the mouth. Dubbing is asking a lot because you know that it's
because it feels really weird.
yeah, it's not synced. I don't like it. I think it's a little too canned for me.
Yeah.
But I will often watch foreign stuff, you know? Like and it doesn't even like it could just be culturally foreign. Like I love slow horses.
That's not. Come on.
But you have to have the captions on to understand it.
There's some of it you need the
Some-
cap.
I
Come
mean,
on. Sometimes
very-
they're like, right, you
it's
think
not-
I'll do that, would you? All right, we're not. Fine, go down. You must up and bollocks. Bullocks to you, sir, because you're off the case
Oh my
and
God,
fired
so
knackered.
you
I'm like,
watch it because you're doing vocal exercises on your like
I
Cockney
don't know
accent.
what Gary Oldman is saying half the time. I do watch with subtitles.
I would say Peaky Blinders was the height of
yeah,
needing
yeah.
subtitles on a show.
that's
that made
Northern
absolutely
England.
no sense what they were saying.
That's Newcastle.
It felt crazy to me.
Yeah.
I'll say it's so funny because I mean, guys, I speak 4 languages, right? So like,
Sure.
so like, no, but
There's
you-
no such thing as a foreign language film to Negin Farsad.
I know, like so
know.
many of them are like in a language I speak, but like, no, I'm a dick. No, I oddly, I'm fine watching a movie that isn't a language I speak, and then I get all Philistine, dummy dumb, because I'm like, if it's not a language I speak, then I'm like, I don't want to watch it. Like I do get a little annoyed. And I just want to be honest. I'm being vulnerable. I'm just being vulnerable here.
It's an ask. It's an ask because you're like listening to this barrage of language you haven't heard. Like I was watching All Quiet on the Western Front, which is a hilarious laugher. But you're just being like accosted with German for hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God, well, the book wasn't like this.
Right.
You know,
Right.
So yes, you sometimes need a mental break.
Right.
And to hear your own language, but you know, I'd rather. I don't know. Something about me. I guess this is my ego. I want to listen to the whole thing to say I did.
Right. It's all about just proving to the salon that you did it.
I will also go on record now, and in 6 weeks, 7 weeks, we can look back and see if I'm wrong.
All right.
These films are not going to win Best Picture.
Whoa. Okay.
All right. What it is? Okay, give us your
Best Picture.
Oh, I don't know what's going to win. I'm not a prognosticator.
I would like
One Battle
to
After Another or Sinners.
I think it's going to be One
Or
Battle
Hamnet.
After Another.
Or Hamnet, actually. Hamnet might.
Hamnet was.
Well, I want it to be One Battle After Another.
I never want to see Hamnet again. Hamnet was the saddest thing.
That's what
ever
everyone
seen.
says.
If you have a child, don't watch it.
And if you cry more over the last 10 years, like Negin
I've
does?
seen Sinners in One Battle, and I'm resisting seeing Hamnet for exactly that reason because I can't. There's only so many times I want to activate the tear ducts in a day.
Well, it's also horror, so it'll scare you. It'll scare you that you're not a good enough parent. And then on top of that, Maggie O'Farrell, the writer, was at this screening, went to a WGA screening. She was just a bubbly ray of sunshine. I was like, do you see what you wrote?
God, I can't.
And have done to us.
You've done
this
She's
to
like,
us.
it was so fun. I'll do it again. You know, I'm like,
Sorry,
why are you
I
from
got to turn on
raw-
my captions to understand what he's saying.
Yeah. This Roald Dahl character bops in here like she didn't just destroy us all.
Oh my God.
It was rough.
That's so weird. Okay, listen, folks.
March
give us your
15th. Tell me if I was right.
Right. We're doing March 15th. We're going to hold Justin and mine. And wait, did you give us your?
Well, statistically speaking, it looks like.
Sinners?
It looks like Sinners would be the best picture.
Right,
but
because they have so many nominations. But it could be a thing where they were nominated so many times, but then nobody gives a fuck at the end.
That's what happened to The Color Purple, right?
Right.
And so, I mean, why not? Because Steven Spielberg was the producer. Remember this? Steven Spielberg produced and directed The Color Purple and went home empty-handed along with Quincy Jones. And so now we can correct all that, can't we? Because he is the producer of Hamnet. So I'll see you guys later.
Way to bring it full circle.
Okay. Yeah. Bye, Jordan. All right, folks, let's take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll keep talking. Today's show is sponsored by Qualia Life. And oh my God, you guys, this sponsor has come at me at the right time. I don't know, like since I had a kid and then also just more in the last few years, I feel like I can't recover from stuff as fast as I used to. I feel like I work out and then I'm sort of like, oh, messed up for the day or messed up for 2 days from one workout. It's so frustrating because the other thing is you're supposed to exercise. And I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm getting older. I guess having a baby also just like sucked the life out of me. I don't know specifically what's going on. I just know that healing takes forever, recovery takes forever, and it's really frustrating. And that is exactly what Qualia Stem Cell is for. And I'm so excited about this product. It helps with healing and recovery. Because it helps your stem cells. It helps your own body's system function better. Fewer cells, weaker sniggles, slower recovery. That is what Qualia Stem Cell is there to target. Your own stem cells are really powerful, and Qualia's innovative new stem cell formula helps them be as powerful as they can be. They are crafted with nature's most powerful healers like sea buckthorn and royal jelly. So you're basically ready to take on what's next, which for me is just like regular life, regular work. I just need to get back to regular. And I'm really excited that there's something that's helping me just kind of like say no to slowing down. I do not want to keep slowing down. It's so frustrating. And this, I think, is the most fun part of Qualia Stem Cell, is that you only need to take it 4 days a month, preserving your body's regenerative capacity over time, which is, that's just kind of like a new thing I'm discovering, is something that you only need to take 4 days a month. So if you've ever felt like your body just doesn't bounce back like it used to, whether it's after a tough workout, getting sick, or just the wear and tear of life, this is for you as it is for me. I know I'm not alone. I've talked to so many moms who feel the same way. Qualia Stem Cell was designed to support your body's natural repair systems, helping you heal, recover, and keep going strong. And right now, you can try it for up to 50% off at qualialife.com. And there's a bonus. Use the code FAKE for an additional 15% off your order. Again, that's qualialife.com, QUALIA life.com/fake. qualialife.com/fake. Your body's built to repair itself. Qualia just helps it do that better. And a big thanks to Qualia for sponsoring this episode. And we are back, and we're ready for some politics. Here we go.
What?
Yeah,
I was
take
told,
a deep
but
breath
I
in.
thought-
Here, no, it's
we were
happening,
only doing
Jordan.
optimism.
It's happening.
That's only happening outside, not in here.
Nope. We're doing it on Saturday. ICE and Border Patrol continued their reign of terror in Minneapolis. This time, they shot Alex Preddy 10 times as he was trying to help another civilian who had just been pepper sprayed. Preddy was an ICU nurse at the VA, and by all accounts, a good dude whose last words were, "Are you okay?" I don't know. I guess you guys say what you need to say.
Justin, you want it again?
I mean, the first thing, something in your intro just stuck in my ear, that you identified her, the person who's protecting, as a civilian, as though we are in a war zone where we need to identify civilians.
yeah.
Isn't literally in Starship Troopers, that's the only movie I can think of where they make a distinction between citizens and civilians. So that's scary and
Yeah.
different. And just everything you see from the images that come out, if you can look at them, he was doing what a human being should do.
Yeah.
He was holding up his hand to say no and to stand in the way of someone who was getting pepper sprayed. And it just sounds like he was a devoted and beautiful human being. And one can never know what will cause backlash and what will finally cause fractures and kind of the right-wing assaults, but there is some of that happening right now.
Do you want help twisting that? Because I was trying to listen to Justin's poignant statement, and Negin.
No, I know.
No, Negin.
Here we go.
No, Negin.
It's
Why
okay.
did it? You know what? This is how they rise.
okay,
This is
so
how they
sorry.
rise up against us.
Sorry.
It begins with the microphone
The-
stands.
The Waymo inside the microphone stand.
Okay,
Anyway, so I don't
yeah.
have anything in sight. I do think that things are changing. I do think that the Minneapolis folks give inspiration and hope. The folks, I mean, like the people of the Twin Cities, are inspirational and are showing us how you are a civilian, how you are a citizen, how you are a member of civil society, standing up to what's going on.
I agree, and I think that they messed with the wrong city. I really like Minneapolis, the Minneapolis. It's such a quirky place,
Yeah.
and if you didn't know that, things might be different if you try to invade the city. Like Prince is from there. Like the water table's different there. The people are different. They're kind. There is something called Minnesota nice, which is like, yeah, but they're fake nice. But you know what? But like, I'm only there like weekends at a time. I'm always
Yeah.
like, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's more than most places, and they have big hearts. And what I like about it in a kind of a way, I mean, it's the beginning of the Mississippi, really, but at the end of the Mississippi, we're lucky to have these two kind of places, New Orleans and Minneapolis, which are such cool, open cities and places where people are proud to be Americans and proud of and know their rights and will stand on those and protect those rights. And I don't know. I just think that like they underestimated this city. Thinking that it was since it's a second-tier city that people wouldn't stand up, and they just messed with the wrong ones. And I love to see now. I mean, although I have to stop myself for a moment because I would hate to disagree with Stephen Miller about anything, but yeah, I just feel like what this city and its citizens have shown is not only extreme and mortal sacrifice, but they want an inflection point. They want this to change, and they're willing to put their lives on the line to create that change.
I would say, I mean, similar to you, I feel like I have the sort of like weekend relationship with Minneapolis as like a performer who's gone in and out of that city for various shows. And and as someone who's gotten like a tiny taste of very, 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 very many American cities, I would say like what does really stand out when you are in the Twin Cities is that like they have such pride in that region. They have such pride in their city. And it's like very obvious. They have such a huge cultural life. A lot of like acts go through there. A lot of music comes out of there. A lot of like, so like I've done film festivals there. There's like so much pride in cultural output.
Yeah.
And there's so much pride in welcoming in other artists, like, and in a way that's like, come enjoy our city,
Yes,
And
yes.
I don't feel that in every city that I go to,
No,
right?
no.
And so I think you're absolutely right. They underestimated the extent to which people are there to say, no, this Minneapolis is representing the America that we want and that we will determine.
Absolutely.
The first time I ever went to Minneapolis, this is 12, 13 years ago, probably, maybe even a little longer. I stopped on the street for a moment, literally a moment, figuring out, getting oriented, and someone walked up to me and said, "Do you need directions?"
Yeah.
And I said, "What?" Grab my pockets, but that is the city. That is the welcoming and inclusive city that we have there. And it means they know their way around their city, and they're showing that off right now. There's been a Drinking Liberally chapter. Negin mentioned Drinking Liberally in the opening. For 20 plus years, chapters all around the country meet in bars, restaurants, cafes. People come together and talk politics. Every Thursday night, I think it's Thursday nights, at the 331 Club in Minneapolis, there's been a chapter for over 20 years.
Oh my
Wow.
And this is a chapter that has had Tim Walz come through when he was running for Congress in 06 or 07, that has had to mourn after the state rep was murdered last year, and that is now also becoming a hub of conversation and concern and participating in the activism. So I get my insights into Minneapolis through an older gentleman. He calls himself one of the Truman Babies Caucus of Drinking Liberally. Like there are generations and generations that are proud of the civic life of their city, of what they've built, and they're all participating in the resistance right now.
That makes me, honestly, that I find that just deeply inspiring, just the images coming out of Minnesota. But I do want to talk about like a weird part of this, which is the gun part of this. Alex Preddy was carrying a gun. He wasn't brandishing it. It was put away. He had a permit to carry that gun. Now, normally the right would applaud this kind of like gun having and carrying or whatever. But instead, people like Kristi Noem and the other nightmares of the administration are saying, oh my God, why would you bring a gun to a protest, like, et cetera. So it's like they're being obviously hypocritical. It's okay to bring your gun to January 6th. But it's just like not okay to bring it to like
it's obvious moral entrapment, right? So it's like you create a trap of morals for this specific group, but then other people can act differently. So if it's J6ers, if it's Kyle Rittenhouse, all the people that have brought long guns to demonstrations, especially during COVID, people were brandishing long guns in demonstrations in Michigan, especially, and that was fine. Fox News, the organs of Trump's messaging were all on board. But then when this happened, of course, you have to have pretzel logic, right? But in so doing, they definitely crossed a line with their own base, And
I do think there's it is causing some confusion, some cognitive dissonance within their base. It would not have been caused, rather the dissonance would not have been caused if it had been a black protester carrying a gun. Everyone on the right would have simply said, why does he have a gun? Whereas because Alex Preddy was a white man holding a gun, also happens to be a registered.
He wasn't even holding.
He wasn't even holding it. Sorry,
he wasn't brandishing
carrying
a weapon.
it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But it should be noted that it's sort of like in between the two double standards. They're not quite sure what to do with it. that said, about Kristi Noem saying, why would you bring it? She's now saying everything she said was told to her by Stephen Miller and Donald Trump. She's only saying what they, so it's almost like she got caught in this confusing spot, and she's now pointing to the guys next to her.
Well,
So
And they're like pointing back at her, right? Because Trump just
Spider-Man
had a
style.
meeting with Walz, who was like, and he said it went great. We're on the same wavelength or whatever he said. And like, and it seems like he's sort of maybe pulling back. I mean, just because I think it all looks too messy for him. So are they just pointing fingers at each other?
Absolutely. This is, Trump, of course, his decision making is, as we know, based on low information, right? So it's the last person that he talked to is how he makes his decisions. That's it. And they basically last for trying to win. They have the lifespan of a news cycle. So if no one dies in the next news cycle, and no one upsets him or says anything, excuse me. If no one says anything untoward to Trump, Trump's trying to choke me from the inside.
yeah, he's really everywhere.
But if there's no whammies, then I would see a reduction in the force in Minneapolis, possibly, right?
Well, this is something I want to talk about is the extent to which this is like a turning point for the administration and maybe a turning point for America at large.
Take it easy.
Because I know, so sorry, but I do only do optimism, so it's tough for me to take it easy. But here's another thing, right? Because Minnesota gubernatorial candidate Republican Chris Medell dropped out of that race, stating, quote, "I cannot support the National Republicans' stated retribution on the citizens of our state, nor can I count myself a member of a party that would do so." So surprisingly, he had been providing legal support to the ICE agent who shot and killed Renee Good as an attorney, but now calls the immigration operation in the Twin Cities as a, quote, unmitigated disaster. So we're seeing, we already lost Marjorie. They already lost Marjorie Taylor Greene. And now they're losing, it's like I feel like people are beginning to peel away. Do you feel something about that? Is it creating a moment that we can maybe feel?
You can leverage that, of course. That is what the media does. And I think that it's these words keep being repeated too, right? I would just say it's sacrosanct. The Second Amendment, the Republican Party is supposed to be sacrosanct, and now that's being tossed out. So yes, I do see a very healthy opportunity if the powers that be want to capitalize on it. So to your point, I see sunshine.
I see some sunshine. I think it's maybe for more craven and calculating reasons. I don't know this guy.
Right, not because suddenly Trump loves people or something.
Or not even because suddenly Trump's not Second Amendment-y enough for me. I think that they're just I think there are some number of Republicans, not many, but some number, who finally are able to see beyond the event horizon of Donald Trump. That there is going to be a time
J.D. Vance.
where right, well, but here's the thing. In any normal political climate, if you were an aspirational, ambitious Republican, you would be kind of throwing jabs at the vice president because you might be trying to run for the same office he's going to run to.
Yeah.
Now that's been contained to some extent because everyone has to be loyal to Trump. But you have Mike Lawler, who's a totally spineless member of Congress from one of the most purplish districts just north of New York. He just wrote a New York Times op-ed saying, after Minneapolis, we should wake up. Well, no, we should have woken up a long time ago, but he's writing that. There have been other Republicans that are just starting to, Lisa Murkowski on tariffs. She's always a little bit more of an independent. She technically is, I guess, an independent. I'm not sure. But you have more and more Republicans who are Stefanik, who was going to run for governor of New York and then didn't. Maybe she's just going to go to the private sector and cash in, or maybe she's looking to a future where she's been kind of treated badly by Trump. And so she says, rather than work my way back into his good graces, let me use a little of that distance to preserve my own reputation for the post-Trump era.
Right, and maybe carve out some sort of Nikki Haley path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nick to where?
Yeah. I know.
The road to where? Where is Nikki Haley?
Haley path to not winning a nomination.
That lady today, yes. dot. Yeah.
Well, okay, so let's end this political discussion on something like a little sillier. Trump gave an interview to New York Magazine to put the issue of his health to bed. In the piece, which involved an interview with Trump and members of his team, they talked about little naps that he takes during meetings, but those were characterized as active listening moments with his eyes closed.
I'm just going to close my eyes for a few minutes
Yeah.
while you go through this.
I do the same thing with my wife when she's trying to talk to me about next week's schedule. I'm like, this is an active listening moment.
But also, by the way, the meetings, Trump characterized himself as boring as hell, is what he said about these meetings.
Boring as hell.
He like, in this piece, he like turned to the physician's assistant that he deals with all the time from Walter Reed and said, "Real fast, is my health perfect?" And then that guy said, who's Colonel James Jones, by the way, said, "Your health is excellent, sir." Everyone went around. Stephen Miller, everyone's favorite. He said Trump can work harder and has a better memory, and he has more stamina and has more energy than a normal person. The headline of your story should be "The Superhuman President," which in fact was the headline of the story.
Wow.
So
Thank you, Goebbels.
it's it's interesting because it's like, does it matter that his health stuff be put to bed? He's
Nope.
like not running again, right? So this is maybe just like Reagan's second term. There'll be some interesting expose that comes out in a few years that's like, these were the many maladies that he had while he was running the country. Or does it somehow matter to 2020, to these midterms, to 2028?
Of course. I think, much hay was made about Joe Biden's demise. And so, we have to think about if the president's cognizant skills meet, the requirements of the 25th Amendment, right? So, like, I think they'll play in. He's got a lot of rope. He's going to do something. He's going to say something dumb. He's going to make another gaffe. And that will play in because his numbers right now, he's polling terribly.
Terribly.
And if you keep going from one disaster to the next and losing, as you're saying, allies in base by violating the sanctity of the Second Amendment by saying that this man shouldn't have brought a gun to the rally. Do I feel the same way? Yes, but I know that he legally was authorized to carry the gun around, right? So you have to ask all the amendments in the Bill of Rights that he has asked people to kind of like turn a blind eye to. They're mounting first, fourth, now second. What's next? Third?
Oh man, maybe. Who knows what it is?
You think soldiers should be able to billet in your home? Justin Krebs? We lost it. This guy he gave up the third right away.
Exactly. I was like, let's do some trading here.
Yeah.
So I would say that we shouldn't overread or get distracted too much by the health. We know he's not a healthy person.
Yeah.
That's baked in. And the more we shout about, like, is he healthy? Is he not? Are they lying? It takes us away from some of these other things. I do think.
What if he has just like a juicy booty? People can have, like, you notice his butt?
It's a big butt.
It's a big butt. It's okay to have a juicy booty.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And
I have a big butt. I have a big
weird
butt.
hand
What are you trying to
stains.
say?
He's got the hand stains.
Do you have hand stains?
I can get some. Like, maybe he's scrubbing dishes, okay? Like,
Oh, yeah.
But he has such dry hands.
I do think that there is something interesting here, though, about, like, as his popularity goes down, as some Republicans for self-preservation are looking beyond him, will they, like, use the health as the excuse? Will some of them not want to call out the issues because they actually still their base agrees on the issues, but they might start saying,
they're already doing that.
They're doing that,
right? They've apologized for him from day one. So why wouldn't they? Yeah. Why wouldn't they continue to do that as his body betrays him?
And the other thing is, this guy has been unhealthy forever. And I just, when he got COVID and then showed up at the debate in 2020,
it's crazy.
We were all kind of like, well, we hope Biden wins, but if not, this is Trump's final moment anyway. Yeah. And then it wasn't. Like, he is old, he's unhealthy, and yet he has the stamina. He does to
He does,
speak
yeah.
for hours.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to be coherent. He's propped up against a podium, but he is
secretly-
But also,
for
but for
hours.
the record, and he did give a speech. I think this was last night. We're taping on a Wednesday, and he gave a speech in Iowa. I think
Yeah.
that was basically like, "No, the economy's great. It's so good, the economy."
Yeah.
And apparently, he said those things. Like he managed to get that out. That was like the whole point of the speech was to try and convince people that the economy was great, which doesn't feel that way. And he managed to get that stuff out, but he did ramble. I mean, he
his
survived
thing.
the ramble.
We have different standards, though.
Right? No, we do.
He is a mascot to these people.
Yeah.
You know, that's all it is. It's just like they want to see his face and they want to be in the same building with him. And it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Like cohesion doesn't really matter that much. I will only say one other thing, which was I think Bassem Youssef, the comic Bassem Youssef, wrote this really great book about authoritarians because he had to leave, of course, Egypt as the conditions worsened there after the Arab Spring. So he said that one of the things that the regime did, and I would like to start calling this a regime and not an administration because that's how it feels.
Yeah.
But one of the things the regime in Egypt did was always they would tell you that the leader, like Hosni Mubarak, I mean, killing it. Like he was always
So healthy.
so
I've never seen anyone healthier.
Like he's, bossing.
And
like,
Putin and Maduro and it is
so healthy, right? Like Bassem, I think used hyperbole, but it was like Mubarak, Mubarak has the strength of 10,000 cobras at his command. He's not. No one is that strong. Right. No, but you have to project strength. So much that we are using. What are usually valid means. That's why because we want to believe.
That is interesting.
We want to believe Walter Reed.
Which,
right?
by the way,
Yeah.
and it's interesting this like project strength thing because one of the things I feel like it totally went viral and everybody seemed to be talking about it was Mom Donnie shoveling snow on the sidewalks of New York, and part of the reason is because we're so fucking unused to a healthy man being a leader who can actually pick up a shovel. You know what I mean?
Mom D?
And so like he was just out there doing for hours, and it was like
I heard he then swam around the island of Manhattan just to prove he could.
Yeah.
He saw healthiest 34-year-old ever.
Breaststroke.
But
He's got the body of a
it's so
32-year-old.
funny. We're just so used to decay, right,
Yeah.
out of the government that it feels
Don't trust it.
amazing to see someone just do something simple like wield a shovel.
And I will now reconsider what I was saying before, where I said, let's not get distracted by his health questions. I do think your point is a good one, which is if part of taking on authoritarianism is mocking and humiliating and subverting the authoritarians, then actually there is a place. Again, I don't think it's going to convince a lot of folks in his inner circle, but there is a place to be talking about his lack of strength, to be pointing it out because he is weak. The other danger of all of it is the longer he naps, every time he's napping, Stephen Miller is more in charge, right? Like Stephen Miller, like he dozes off, and Stephen Miller grabs his Truth Social account and just writes whatever he wants. So that is a concern. I don't know what to do about that.
Well, this is okay. I thought about this extensively,
Okay.
and it's kind of what needs to happen is there needs to be a whisper campaign that turns into the front page of a magazine that Steve Miller is in charge. It's King Steve Miller, blah, blah, blah. And Trump will hate that, and then Trump will fire him.
Right.
So instead of the
Because that's what happened with Steve
superhuman
Bannon. Remember the
president,
Steve
it's
Bannon? Steve Bannon's the real brains behind the operation, whatever the fuck and he was on the cover and all that. That
the
whole thing.
real president.
It led to the ouster of Steve Bannon. And so that's what we need because everyone believes that Stephen Miller is in control.
A good subtitle. I don't know what the headline should be. But the sub-headline could be "The One Man Who Trumps Donald" or something like that. That'd be pretty good. And I think there's something like take the superhuman president, and I want it to be the super president human that doesn't hold together yet.
know,
I'm
not
working on
yet,
it.
not yet.
This is diabolical. This is
But I feel like that's the answer, no?
Yeah.
That
I
has
love.
to be the
Listen,
answer.
I'm always ragging against stochastic terrorism, but like when it's when the rabbit's got the gun, let's go.
I just want to end this segment with one of my favorite quotes that was also very telling about the Trump administration or regime. From Eric Trump, he said this: "He's having more fun building this ballroom than I can possibly tell you."
Yeah, baby.
So the $400 million ballroom construction is basically the entire thing that he cares about. This,
But it's not
during
gonna,
this administration.
But you remember when he got up? Two things. Remember when he got up and he was like, "Oh God, I gotta see this. Look at this. Look at this. Look what it's gonna be." Like it was this huge meeting of like oil executives, and he's like, "You know what?" And he's like thinking about his lady love, the ballroom, and he gets up and he looks out the French doors, and like Marco's there, JD's there. They're like looking at each other like, "What do we do with the old man McGivers?" Like it was like. That was quite a moment.
Yes.
That was quite a moment. And second, the ballroom, I don't think it's going to be a ballroom.
What do you think it? What do you think it's going to be?
They fired the first architect.
Oh yeah,
Architects,
that's
yeah.
right. Yes.
They brought in the guy that reinforced the Pentagon after 9/11. And yeah. There's like caissons that are being poured.
I don't know enough about that guy, but you're getting into an
Apparently-
interesting conspiracy theory.
He's not known for ballrooms. I'll put it that way.
He's not the world's foremost ballroom designer.
He's like, first we start with caissons and we start with magnetic shields. But like,
And then
then we
gold
talk
trim.
crystal.
Yeah,
But I think that I'm going to put it out there. You want to put it out there? I'm going to put it out there. I feel like that old man is building something because he doesn't want to go away, a fortification.
Well, okay. I mean, I just also want to say, fortification or not, it probably won't fucking be done by the time he's done. So it doesn't matter.
Are you doubting D. Trump?
I'm doubting like his ability to build things on time and on schedule.
Can we go on FanDuel right now?
Oh,
and like,
God.
I'm going to parlay the crap out of this. It's going to be done on time.
All right, folks, you let me know, what is the ballroom if it's not a ballroom? And do you care about his
We've also said
ailing
ballroom
health?
so many times now, it starts to lose a little meaning.
I know,
I'm hearing
totally.
it like broken in different ballroom.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm
ballroom.
saying anymore.
A grand ballroom. More than that,
We've also said magnetic shield way too many times for one podcast episode. All right, let us move on. Here we are with topic number 3. But before we actually get into topic number 3, I forgot to shout out, we're taping from the wonderful P&T studio here in the Lower East Side. Oh my God, it's a podcast studio, but it's also a bookstore. It's so lovely.
Somebody tried to take your picture, by the way. It was so cool.
I know, because we face the street. It's so awesome. So anyway, shout out to P&T for having us. Now, here's a phenomenon in culture which I think is fun and ridiculous. It's the stay-at-home sons.
Mm-hmm.
They are all the rage. You might call them trad sons or hub sons, which is a little weirder.
That is
Whatever
weirder.
you call them, they're adult men who embrace living with their parents. The stats somewhat back this up. 18% of adults ages 25 to 34 lived with their parents in 2023, which is more than twice the lowest rate, 8% in 1970.
8%.
That's a huge difference,
Wow.
which I'm also like, what was happening in 1970 that everybody, I mean, maybe they were just like married the second they turned,
Yeah,
you know
out
what I
of there.
mean?
They were in Vietnam, actually.
And they were also in, you had to bring it down,
sorry,
Justin.
and it's actually statistically speaking is
so
not
they were
actually
living
the
in
cause.
Vietnam,
They were
not
on
with
the
their
Mekong
parents.
Delta.
And young men are slightly more likely to live at home at 20% than young women at 15%. Those numbers are kind of similar, but still.
It's a lot.
What do you make of the stay-at-home son?
What do you think?
Yeah, Justin, let's hear it.
I'm surprised by that number that it's more stay-at-home sons than stay-at-home daughters. I think that's interesting.
Yeah,
I don't like the phrase hub son.
Yeah,
Is that
it
what you
grosses
said?
me out,
But then
grosses me
it got me
out.
thinking sunsbind, like a sun. Like and that was also that was just as weird. That was just as weird.
yeah, no, neither of those, thanks.
Maybe in Appalachia? I don't know.
I don't know. So my instinct. Sorry, what age are we talking about? Like they're like early 20s.
Well, the stats we're looking at are 25 to 34.
25 to 34. So again, I have a theory that won't hold, which is that a generation that spent more and more time online, both because online was more prevalent and accessible, and then through COVID schooling, that's the part that doesn't hold here. Got really comfortable. I'm not actually going to criticize.
On the low end, I think it holds for college
and
or whatever.
I don't even mean it in a critical way. Like they don't know how to socialize. They don't know what. Like they actually just got comfortable being at home.
Feel free to criticize, but yeah.
No, I'm not a hater, Negin. I mean, I like going out in the world and seeing people face to face.
You're actually known for that.
I am known for that. But it is both not comfortable to a lot of introverts, and actually a lot of people got trained over the last 15 years
be
to be like,
introvertish.
I have everything I need. And in fact,
Would you stop apologizing for Boo Radley, please? Okay, he's a great character in the book.
He's a good guy. He's a good guy. Spoiler alert for 1961 novel, Boo Radley's a good guy. But yeah, no, that would be one of my theories.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
Do you have,
and they're getting whatever they need
from their moms?
I would say from the internet more than their moms, but that's where we maybe disagree.
A great Wi-Fi connection?
From their Waymos.
So living in South Brooklyn, I can tell you there's 1, 2,
Oh God.
3 guys
Yeah.
that live with their parents on my block.
That are what age group?
They're
25 to 34?
they're past their 30s.
Okay,
you know?
okay.
And we call that mamoni. So that's like in South Brooklyn, and Italian in Italy they call it mamoni, which I think is a much sweeter, prettier
So it's
word.
just like living at home to help your mom?
Is that kind of like Mama's Boy?
It's Mama's Boy. It's Mama's Boy.
Oh,
So-
got you, Mama's Boy. Yeah.
So
But
I mean,
it sounds really
It
nice.
does sound nicer than Mama's Boy sounds
I'll get a
more
side
of
of
an insult.
Mamoni.
mamoni. Yeah, you want some
Yeah.
manicotti and some mamoni?
Yeah, exactly.
I never
Okay,
thought of it
so-
as a dish, but I do think it's like this. I think there are pluses and minuses. The negative being the failure to launch, right?
Yes.
The plus being that we don't live intergenerationally. Now, if you take those stats and go back to the beginning of the 1900s, people lived intergenerationally in a house, and
Yeah.
there is a benefit to that, meaning that like
Absolutely.
the older the parents get, the more they need care, right? So there is that emotional care and emotional labor that does happen intergenerationally, which I think is like really good. But I think there's a yin and yang to it. Like you should probably go out, see the world, have an adventure, and not become so enmeshed with your parents. But at the same time, your parents have a lot to teach you. Your grandparents have a lot to teach you as well. So I think it's maybe a change in our cultural values a little bit, saying like it's okay to stay home.
Right.
Plus
I
the
do
economy, yeah.
like the idea. I mean, look, I'm Iranian, and in
You
Iran,
are?
there's
No.
in Iran, there are people who just live at home. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like
Yeah.
you don't actually move out until you get married. Like that's just the thing. You
Right.
don't move out until you get married. You don't move out to go to university. You try to go to the university that's in your region.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like all those things. That's normal. Even in France, which by the way, listeners might know that I lived in Paris at one point.
Do you speak 4 languages?
And I speak,
What
so I speak several
arrondissement?
languages. And guys, le dixième. And anyway, and so I also gave a commencement address. It's not a big deal. Anyways, but the point is, even in France, there were a lot of people that lived with their parents. Just like
Yeah.
it wasn't like living on your own is such an American phenomenon, and then also making fun
That's
of
true.
people who don't like who choose to go back and live with their parents
calling
is
them
an
Boo
American
Radley.
phenomenon. Calling them Boo Radley, and I think like. I feel like there's a cultural element, right?
Yeah.
In that, and we read a piece, I think it was in the Washington Post, where like a lot of like Filipino or like Moroccan families talked about like, yeah, like it's not a big deal. Like this is not weird.
I think if we were intentionally creating intergenerational households again, it does make a lot of sense. When I had young kids, having grandparents around helps, and then as the grandparents get older, like you can help them.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like this is coming from intentionality.
No,
It does sound
no, it
like
doesn't.
to bring politics into it. It was Mamonis was the word.
Mamoni.
It sounds like Mamonis for Mamdani is the new It's all about affordability, right? If you could afford to live elsewhere in the city, you probably wouldn't be moving back. But the fact is,
He's not even campaigning, Justin, and you gave him another place
I
to
want
campaign.
him showing up in your
Mamonis from
Italian
Mamdani.
neighborhood and be like, Mamonis from Mamdani, and talk about the affordability crisis. Because probably
sense,
some of these
though.
guys would live elsewhere if it was
No.
1970.
Yeah.
And
Nah, they love it. They love
love
it.
it?
They're out like lifting weights in the yard. Like, we're gonna have chicken tonight or what, Mom? You know, like they have amazing like sports luxury cars. There's a guy that his mom is
that's
like this,
interesting.
Yeah, his mom's like the super of the building, so he's got a free apartment, and then he's got like a Porsche 911 windswept. You know the kind. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? The coupe,
Yes.
the Porsche coupe. He's got the
Yeah.
Porsche coupe. I always feel bad, like these guys, like, let's say you
Maybe he's
have a
living a
great
good
night, you
life.
meet somebody. They're like, you have to be like,
Are they
"Could you be-"
ripped? Are they good looking? Like,
Always,
if they're doing, okay.
always. They're
Driving
always
around in their Porsche
they're-
after the night at the bar, and then
But for them, it's completely
That feels
normalized.
failure to launch, though, more
Yes.
than anything. Yeah.
Is it sad? Is it desperate?
Or is
Sure.
it just like a good, yeah. Well, so one of the
Yes.
people that was like interviewed in the piece
Yeah.
said, and I quote, "Hell yeah, I'm a stay-at-home son. You
Yes.
work for a living? That sucks."
yeah, there you go.
And so that guy
Guys,
it
it
falls
does.
into
It
a
does suck.
category of like, I would say unproductive citizen. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, listen, some of them are, some of them aren't. It's a mixed bag.
It's a mixed bag.
Wow, I
It's a
like
mixed
also
bag.
how Negin, like because of her own background, thinks that working for money is your definition of citizen. Like, wow. Well, let's talk about
Wow.
unpaid labor, Negin. Let's
I
talk about
was,
uncredited
can
labor.
you tell I was raised by immigrants, and
Yeah.
the only value I bring is the money I bring. That's it. I have no other purpose than to work.
But you're a parent?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and you're a parent?
Yes.
We're all parents.
Yes.
What if our kids stayed? Wouldn't that be great?
They're so cute. That'd be great.
Yeah.
I love it.
I would worry that it meant that they were not doing well in life, right?
Or that-
like, wouldn't you
Or
worry?
that we weren't doing well, and they
Oh,
saw
and they
that.
felt like they had to.
It's a Gen X standard, though. I'm Gen X, you're Gen X,
Mm-hmm.
you're Gen X. I feel like, yeah.
the ideal situation. Here's the ideal situation.
Yeah.
We all live in the same apartment building as our kids.
Okay.
I'd love
Separate
people to do that.
dwellings.
Yep, separate dwellings.
But stop in any time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
My mother-in-law lives 5 minutes around the corner.
There you
She's
go.
5 minutes away from
That's
us.
amazing.
It's good, it's good.
But there are doors. There are doors and locks.
This is a public podcast,
Yeah.
It's
so
good. It's
yeah,
good.
let's
you
keep
know?
that going.
Really,
we love her.
really
We
good.
love her. Like that's what it is. And so sometimes it's too close for comfort, admittedly, but sometimes it's like a godsend. And you have to weigh that out. I think you should live close to your family. You don't have to live on top of them, but you
Yeah.
should live close,
It's
ideally.
nice, yeah.
And the economy sucks, and it's hard to buy a house. And if these kids just pull themselves up by the bootstraps, then
Right,
it'd be
right,
okay.
right. Well, folks, I would like to know if you are a stay-at-home son listening to
mamone.
this podcast.
A mamone.
Are you a mamone? A mamoni?
Mamoni.
Italian's not one of her four languages.
I was like,
We're going to talk about Jordan's book that is like sort of related to all of this
Ties it all
in a
together.
bonus episode. So stay tuned to that. But before we get into the next episode of this show, I would like the people of Fake Nation to be able to follow you in all the wonderful work that you do.
Yes.
Jordan, where do they do that?
They can find me on Instagram, which you just have to type in Jordan Carlos. I'm one of one, you guys. One of one.
Incredible.
What
What is the name of your book?
The name of my book is Choreplay. It's called Choreplay. It's the marriage-saving magic of getting your head out of your ass. That is the subtitle. I hope that you purchase it, pre-order it, and it's on Hatchet Books and Publishing, and you can find it wherever books are sold.
Oh, folks, I have been reading this book. I love it so much. It's so fun. It's like hanging out with Jordan, and it's like every man in your life should also own it. So there you go,
Thank you,
pre-order. Justin, where do they find you?
Basically unfindable on social media, but right now,
Jason Bourne.
JustinKrebs.com. That's with a K and one B, not two. Just redirects to the Drinking Liberally website, where you can find over 100 chapters of Drinking Liberally that meet regularly around the country. I'm not at all of them, sometimes not at any of them, but it's the closest I can offer.
Folks, again, you should see if there is a Drinking Liberally chapter in your town. It's such a fun time. You meet so many people. It is one of the solutions to the loneliness epidemic is going to a place where you can have a drink or non-alcoholic drink with people that you don't know and get to know them.
Stay-at-home sons are welcome.
Again, yeah, and then somebody knows your name. You know?
There you go.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Folks, you know where to find me and everything that I do. I just want to make mention here for those who are listening to the show on a Thursday that you still have a chance to call your senators about not funding DHS. I still believe in calling your senators and doing stuff like that. That actually does matter. Having interned on Capitol Hill, I remember literally gathering the information on how many people called and what it was about and all that stuff. So that actually does matter. They get annoyed when phone lines get tied up by too many constituent calls, so they notice. They fucking notice. While you're at it, throw in a little, can you please support Iran? Because there's also a couple of bills in there about supporting Iran. So you could do a 2-for-1 call, guys. 2 issues, 1 phone call. Get it done. Feel good about yourself. And get involved. We're only doing optimism. There, I said it. I want to thank everyone who makes the show a possibility. That's our wonderful producer, Rob Heath. Thanks to Gabi Alter, who wrote our theme music. You can reach us at fakethenationpodcast@gmail.com. And otherwise, we'll be back in your earballs next week.